Well, happy Mother's Day to all mothers. As usual, Amy and I are doing our opening video. Got all your videos done. I just have to write the email, get it sent out, load them, load this one, and you will have all your videos for the week. Now, another little bit of a custom. We're going over to Starbucks on Sunday morning, getting the iced tea drinks today. It's a beautiful day. It is 67, but it feels a lot warmer. For my Canadian friends, it feels like it's about 17 or 18 right now. Wait, no. 18 times 2 is 36. That's 68. Yeah, it feels like it's just exactly what it says it is on the truck right now. But it's going up to low 20s or I guess mid 70s. Low mid 70s today. It is going to be a nice day. Some horses racing tonight. We have Save America racing tonight. We have Greatest Ending racing tonight. And we have my first trip ever behind Neptune is going to be tonight also. So a lot going on, but the storyline of the night will obviously be at Flamborough Downs. Our first start of the year, I think, at Flamborough, if I'm not mistaken. And his time is on my side racing in the Charles Juravinski elimination. Odd story. Harry Polton, who's the trainer of Time is on My Side in Canada, was the longtime trainer for Charles Juravinski. Did you know that?
No.
He owned a lot of horses with Harry over the years, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he owned, I can't remember who he owned. I think he did. Maybe I just lied, but I don't think so. I think I'm correct. So it's been a great week at the barn. The horses have raced well. Last night we get hooked in with a bunch of 2s and 3s, right? Second, third, fourth. The horses did well for the most part all night, but just come up a little short. I thought Alexandra should have probably won, although she's feeling better every week again. It's hard because it's almost like Northfield. The times and the track changes throughout the card. You watch a horse go out and race good, like, wow, the track's good tonight. Then you go drive a horse and it felt like it raced good. Like Alexandra felt like she raced good, but 57 was pretty much all she wanted last night. So I do feel it's baby steps with her. She's not getting into her knees as much. She's pacing cleaner. I did go back to the barn last night and I let her hobbles out 2 holes, texted Jason and said, hey, this filly, I just watched the replay. It looks like her hobbles are still a little snug. I just let them out a couple of holes for next week, so we'll see how that plays out also. The major storylines of the week for us, aside from the racing and the babies, was where we're going to race everybody, right? Maury and Arrowhead are in Saratoga right now. That will be their staging point for the Bunker Hill next week in Massachusetts. I'm going out there for the day. Amy said she has nothing really to do on Thursday, so it's an easy day. We have dance. What do we have? Dance, gymnastics, and Ollie is a baseball game?
Yeah. All
on the same day. Busy day for both of us on Thursday. Wednesday, I opted to book off at Melisandre, put Ronnie around on Melisandre in race 2 because I'm going to stay back here and we're going to do some gate schooling. I'm going to ask Steve if he can come in and video. Now, there's a chance of rain on Wednesday, but the weather changes so dramatically and quickly here that I'm going to gamble that we'll be all right on Wednesday morning. If it's pouring rain, then fine. The day's a scrap. If it's light rain, then we'll probably go. But we're going to opt for no rain, if possible. No rain, if possible, for next Wednesday. Now, where are all the Ohio breds going? Buckeye, Sire Stakes, Pennsylvania, Stallion. We don't have any sire horses other than Arrowhead Hanover over there. The Stallion horse, obviously, Manhattan Money raced pretty good the other day. I think long term with him, he's going to be a much better horse. Short term, he seems. I got to cut him some slack because I can feel how he's fighting against the hobbles. I think I want to bleed to death here. Very rare. Cut myself shaving. It doesn't happen very often. It hasn't happened in a while. I think it's a jinx because I made fun of Justin Turcotte for not shaving yesterday, and then I cut my face. I'll live. Manhattan Money, I can feel how he works hard against those hobbles in the latter part of the mile, and I just know he gets pacey, he loses himself, but he's this big, gangly, growthy, lanky colt. Just think when he grows into himself, he might be a much, much better horse. But there is the concern of the eye of the tiger. The gas tank, smaller gas tank, I think, in Manhattan Money than there is in some of the other horses. that are actually Sire Stake horses at the moment. So we're going to talk about some of the 2-year-olds that caught my eye this week. This list is growing, by the way. My 2-year-old. I wish you'd been able to watch in New York the other day. It wasn't that the mile was astonishingly incredible. It was that he did it. It wasn't that. It wasn't the time. It was the horse that did it. For him to jump forward and go that kind of mile was surprising.
So why did the rice bike make the difference? Like,
well, that's a good question.
Is it shifting weight and touching the shafts?
No, that's a good question. So the biggest component would be the fact that he went 2 trips. That would be the biggest.
He went 2 trips the week before.
But that was the first time he'd ever gone 2 trips the week before. This was the second time he'd gone 2 trips. Secondly, up at the gate and pole on the outside, which probably helped a little bit more than a lot of stuff. And thirdly, his will, his will to do the work, right? His work ethic is on point. And when I knew that I had to push him in the turns and just let him settle in the straightaways, which is the opposite. You think with horses you can push them in the straightaways, but that isn't how horses are. Horses are as such that some do trot or pace the turns better, or pace the straightaways or trot the turns better. You have to play to their strengths and help them with their weaknesses. And it's not hard to do when the horse itself wants to work as hard as it can. So when you go out there with a winner's attitude, so to speak, as Fred used to say, a winner's attitude, and given the opportunity to do it, i.e. that 2 trips, the gating pole on the outside, and then allow him to push forward, he certainly took advantage of every opportunity he had the other day training, which leads me to believe there's a racehorse in there, an undisclosed amount of talent. You got to now always think back also. If you have a horse with a good attitude and good breeding, there's a good chance you're going to have a good horse, right? And he's put together. His conformation is very, very good. Obviously a fantastic family. This is Kings County's brother. And sound as a dollar right now. His attitude is on point. His work ethic is perfect. Well, I mean, if you continue to put in the work. Now, the biggest surprising part to me was I really thought it would take a few weeks to get to this point. I didn't expect it to take mere hours. And he was very good. Why don't you just scoot right in on Mother's Day? Unless you want to talk while I go in and get the drinks? Oh, okay. She's learning. She's getting better. She's an apprentice. So very, very pleased with him. So we're going to talk about, I have 11 2-year-olds on this list to talk about that I thought did a tremendous work this week. And as I can tell you, the list of horses that are disappointing right now is extraordinarily low and short. The list of horses that have problems, our soreness right now, extraordinarily low and a little surprising. Every year, we got a wave, that last wave, when you really start to push them, they start to get on the line, get out of gear. This one's got some lines or some, an issue here or there. Just gonna have to give them a little more time. We don't have much of that right now. And, knock on wood. I don't have any wood. Just hopefully it stays that way over the next. We're on the cusp of qualifying. These miles on Wednesday for a lot of them will be somewhere between 2.6 to 2.10 in the race bike. You're talking racehorse speed now. Like we're on the doorstep of qualifying, and these horses, for them to be doing their work as well as they do, the amount of them, not just some of the horses are doing fabulous work, but the amount of horses that are doing good work, it's uplifting, and it's impressive, even for me, and I see them every day. So, what took place? Oh my God, that's good. What took place this week? Just going to talk about the horses that hit the board, and some of the other ones, some of the storyline stuff. Rose Run AJ was second, should have won. We did draw his blood. There was nothing extraordinarily wrong with his blood, so he has moved into the coward category. But that's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. Just means that he's not a killer. So you have to drive him accordingly. We went through this with with Blue Ventura the night that I raced him hard and he finished up the track. Come back and raced him a little bit easier, and the horse raced tremendous. You just have to, again, play to the strengths, not the weaknesses. What's wrong?
Yeah.
Memento Mori.
What is it?
Was very, very good the other day. Finished second, but I have to keep reminding everybody that these are aged horses. These are not
Is it?
Right, that he's racing against. They're not 3-year-olds. So there is a big, big difference in that in its own sense. You saw that with Gorgeous Package, right? She raced against the aged horses, looked good, but once you got her in with her own crew, well, different story. Right now, unfortunate break in the final to Hackett, which is rare for her, but a much different showing when she's in with her own sophomore crew. Same with Memento Mori. I think the Bunker Hill. Yes, I don't think if you raced Arrowhead Hanover and him together right now, I don't know if Mori could beat Arrowhead Hanover. But there's a long, long season ahead, and that's something that we all have to keep in mind also. So he was good. Grand Slam Dio was great. I thought, you always have that. I still have the expectation and the hope that she'll be a good filly, so I think she should have won the race the other day. But huge pushes forward for her. She was virtually present in Ontario. She wasn't a factor. She didn't show any pop, any snap to her. But over here, she's in a little softer company in the maiden. She's starting to get her confidence up. Her gait's starting to get good. We're taking equipment off of her, and she's starting to look and race very, very good. So second and 57 off half in like a minute. A good mile for her the other day.
I'm pretty sure this is just lemonade and peach juice.
It says green tea. So in the title, I didn't ask specifically for no green tea.
Extra ice, extra peach juice.
Yes, I did that. I didn't say, and by the way, take the main ingredient out of the title. I didn't do that. It didn't happen. Gymboree raced good the other day for being entrapped. Actually, within the next 25 minutes, that entrapment is going to be fixed. Very short turnaround because it's a small incision. They're just unsticking, I guess. It's not a technical term, but trimming and unsticking that epiglottis. I don't know the exact downtime, but I'm glad. I don't know if Jason knew that she was being done today because he had her entered for Wednesday. She was first also eligible. That might have been a little close turnaround, but maybe next Saturday she can race. I'm not sure. Looks like Money was great again. Yes, I stole a little bit of a quarter, and yes, I think his electrolytes were properly balanced this week. It happens, you get that couple of those hot snaps. He gets a little warm. Maybe you train him in the middle of the week. He doesn't really get all the electrolytes back in. It doesn't happen often, but you can see how it could cascade and turn into a problem, especially for a horse that might be a little susceptible to an electrolyte imbalance like that. We didn't know that he was. There was certainly no indication of it, but it was what it was. And the other day with that breather, now was it the big breather or was it that he was just in proper working order? The last 100 yards were the fastest of his race. He finished up strong and did his work really, really well. An easy winner in the Open. Now it helped that Ronnie got away last, but we'll take all the help we can get. Captain Incredible was great. I guess one of my concerns this week is that I'm not going to be here to drive him, but I'm reassured in the fact that he was much more confident the other day. More than I even thought he would be. He felt really, really good the other day. So I'll just list Ronnie on him. Now, the problem with listing Ronnie in a maiden pace at the Meadows is Ron Burke is likely going to have something in there. You what? You don't like this? So what you're asking for is a new drink. Well, it is Mother's Day. If you'd like a different drink, I'm sure I can drink both of these buckets right here. Addie would likely like one of these.
She doesn't need any green tea.
Well, according to you, there's none in there. So
I don't
good
think
for
there
her.
is. I literally think you just bought juice and lemonade and ice.
Which would have been fine for me this morning. So if that's the case, good for me. Woodmere Betcha was an easy winner in Charlottetown. She's going to Truro. I just talked to Jamie Smith. He sent me a text message. Said that she's going to Truro this week, and Woodmere Bullet's going to train in 212 to 214 in the race bike. So that's good to hear also. Both Woodmere horses on the East Coast are looking very, very good. Manhattan Money, we switched back to the Meadows on Friday, I guess. Manhattan Money was good. I talked about him in the opening. I think there's more there. It's just going to take some time. This isn't something that I can change his equipment and fix him right away. It's maturity, it's growth, it's strength, it's power that he's to put into himself. And at that point, I think he'll be a faster trotter. Will he be a better trotter? I don't know. Spitfire Overseas was good. It was funny. I got off the bike. I said to Tim, I didn't find him as sharp today, as strong today. He felt good. He won with the earplugs in. He was an easy winner, but he didn't feel as good. He says, well, I didn't get to train him hard in the middle of the week because of he touched his knee the week before. We were working on his knee and didn't get a strong training mile into him. So it goes back to what Amy and I were talking about in a number of videos over the last month, the difference you see in horses when they aren't prepared the same way. Spitfire Overseas, obviously, Tuesday or Wednesday, Tim will train him a mile and 25, maybe let him trot a little bit on the end of it. That mile, you may not think that's important, but as a driver, I could tell right away. I didn't know that he didn't train him in the middle of the week, but I could tell that something was up. He just wasn't quite as good, and it didn't take long to figure out why. Arrowhead Hanover was awesome, 52-4 against two very, very good horses, right? That Big Shoes horse or whatever is the one that was third in Maury's race. The horse that kind of Maury snuck out in between Aki and the other horse. The other horse was the horse that won Arrowhead Hanover's race the other day. The horse that finished second was Meshuggah. That horse made, what, $250,000, two something? And
Maury raced against him in the Breeders' Crown.
Maury raced against him in the Breeders' Crown. James drove him, put him on the break, put him on the run to start, but won't talk about that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he drove Meshuggah in the Breeders' Crown and made a break at the gate.
I thought Scott drove that horse.
No, Scott drove a different horse in the final. James drove Meshuggah in the final. He made a break. So, two very, very tough competitors that he raced against, and he was very, very good. 53-1, 28 flat in the end of it. A great mile from Arrowhead, especially going into the Bunker Hill. Texung Soprano, not his best work, but he still worked very well. Third. I thought he could have been second, but he raced good to finish third. The horse has been racing pretty good. 3 Point Blue Chip, I thought, won the race. That was the narrowest of losses you're going to find in a win photo. Second, just beat a Nostril at the wire in 54-3. Patrick DePerana raced good, and Spencer Carrick, props to him. He's not really a catch driver, so to speak. Much like us, does his own work, does his own thing, drives his horses sometimes, always does a good job, and did a great job with Patrick DePerana, finishing third in 150. So good job by Spencer Carrick. And then last night, I guess the standouts tonight, I thought Yo Mister was second and third. He ended up fourth, but he raced good. Chicago Hall was good, finishing third behind two very good horses. He's not known for sprinting on the end of it. 55 flat, 27-4 on the end of it was his line. That was a good mile, starting into a long summer for him. And then Rosalind Alexander, I said, was third. Let her hobbles out. She's inching forward. Here's a filly that paced 55, 56 at 2, and she's starting to feel good. Should she have won last night? Yes, she should have won last night. But she raced pretty good in her mile, and I think she is improving. So those are some of the standouts this week. Did I miss anybody that you were thinking of that raced? Anybody that you were happy with? No, Sandra raced pretty good to be fourth. She should have won, and her hobbles were tight.
What do you mean she should have won?
She should have zipped through. I had room to zip through. I could have wiggled through if she had a little more pop on the end of it. But she did come from last. She had to weave through, and she's not used to racing from off the pace. When we trained her, when we qualified her, when we schooled her, when we raced her, it was always leave, sit close, and then kind of pounce late. Well, now she's sitting further back. She's just learning to be a racehorse. And I know it's hard for a lot of my partners out there to look at her and say, I just don't see how you can get from 59 at Northfield to 53 at the Red Mile.
You can.
100% you can. 100%. Well, you can do the other way. Memento Mori winning 51-4 was beating 58 at Northfield Park.
Yeah.
It's slower. It's a half-mile track. All of this will be new to Melisandre, and it absolutely is contingent on overall talent. She's a very rare horse where I still don't really know how good she is. I feel there's a lot more in there, and she's not being sour about it. She's getting better with her attitude. I think she's going to get to Kentucky, shed the hobbles, shed all the weight, most of the boots, if not all of them, and race. That's what I believe will happen with Melisandre.
She's marking that one left hind low.
She marked it low because we had flip-flops on her. I told you, when you put those flip-flops on, sometimes they're a little more cumbersome.
Like, I almost want to put a passenger strip on her next time.
It's no, she touched where the boot hit covers. You can put a little vet wrap on it, and she wears vet wrap behind, so it's not the end of the world. But that is the flip-flops. Again, get her down to Kentucky, put a set of full swedges on her up front. She'll barely need any boots, if any, behind. I believe she might even shed the hobbles, which I think she can.
She would literally wear nothing if that was the case. She would wear a bridle and a harness.
And I think she probably could. She's one of those horses that could do that. So I want to give her the time. I've made up my mind. We were thinking of breeding her as a 3-year-old. I don't want to do that. I think she's going to be a nice filly throughout the summer, and I think by the end of the fall, we won't be happy with what we have because we expect her to be one of the best horses in the world. We paid a lot of money for her. She's bred well. We had high expectations for her. So regardless, she's going to be on it. We're going to be a little unhappy.
Yeah, but I feel like at this point, I would be happy with her being in the B or C division down in Kentucky.
100%. And I think
considering what we were at.
100%. And I think she'll
winter.
be a nice filly. And it's always important. And most of our seasoned owners out there understand this. You just go ahead and look. Everybody is dumping horses that cost a ton of money. It really is frustrating, but there's no way to know which ones are great, which ones are good, which ones are okay, and quite frankly, which ones are bad. Like, I like Vehement. Like, I hooked a wheel with him last night. We'll talk about that in the Sunday video. But he was going to maybe be second or third last night. He's okay for us. He's a $325,000 yearling. And he's a condition claimer. We're happy because we paid like $17 for him.
Yeah.
Right? This happens all the time. It's just a tough game. It's not for the faint of heart. And Melisandre doesn't care what we paid for her. She's going to be what she is.
I also think, too, with mares, they don't have the opportunity to really show you what they are because they're thrown in the breeding shed right away. So, like, she might not even be good till she's 4 or 5, but we're not. I think
we're going to race her through her 3-year-old season. We're going to try and get her ready at 4. If we don't feel that she's because remember, if you have a good trotting filly that can get around a half, you got that Yonkers race, right? You have fillies and mares trots. They're rare, but they do pop up. And I like the filly. She's grown on me, and I'm one of your partners on her too. So obviously there is that part of me that's a little disappointed she's not what we wanted her to be. But she loves me.
She does.
But she doesn't. And you're right. She hasn't been given an opportunity to grow at her maturity level. She was very immature at 2, and now she's starting to become a much more mature filly. So I'm intrigued. I'm interested to see how she is. The problem is, if you have a trotter that can trot in 56, you have a maiden Almers or 2 trotter. If you have a trotter that trot in 53, 54, you can find a stake race for them. So even the smallest of margins sometimes are the biggest of deals, and that's where we're at with Melisandre. Who else? Anybody else? Blue Ventura hasn't raced yet.
Captain raced good.
He did. Yeah, I talked about him. He came from way, way back. Yeah. Just a typical me drive.
No, it was not. What did I text you immediately after that?
Said great drive, love you.
No, that's not what I said.
He raced great. I thought the horse, he's going to be a nice. I can tell you what he is. He is a super fast colt, but again, you have a 51, 52 pacer, you have a nice horse. You have a 49 pacer, you have a stake horse. So I believe, I'll say this right now, he exhibits as much or more talent than any horse I've ever sat behind. His attitude is good. His breeding is good. Again, he checks a lot of the boxes as to... What's that?
I said, this guy's going to think I'm weird.
Probably. Should I beep the horn? I probably should. Oh, she jumped. Oh, I got the finger. So Captain Incredible was very good too. I was really, really pleased with his overall attitude. As I said, Blue Ventura, I thought raced good in the Stallion Series. Now that brings up another good point. I touched on it earlier. Who's going to go where? We opted not to take him to the Poconos, and it's just simple math, and I'll tell you why. In the Stallion division, let's assume there's 3 divisions, 20 to 24 horses. On that list, A to Z, 1 through 24, Blue Ventura would be somewhere around 16, right? He's a moderate player. Do we really want to ship him 4.5 hours, spend a fortune, take him there, pay to race him for $20,000, being near the bottom part of that ladder? Or we can race him back for $11,000 for free, not ship anywhere. What's wrong? Are you going to yell at me?
Today and my birthday.
Yes?
You do not do that.
I don't get to beat the horn?
No.
But how come?
So
I was just letting you know that there was a car approaching. Somebody
and
just pulled in.
do you realize that my head is at the same level as the front of the truck?
But I was just trying to warn you that there was a car entering the parking lot.
Disappointed.
But there was a car entering the parking lot.
There was nothing.
There was, and I was worried for your safety. You should thank me, really. That's what you should do. So, made more sense to me. Made way more sense. Just grab Ava's drink here. It made way more sense to me. See, safety first. Let me stop. It made way more sense to me to simply race Blue Ventura in the condition claiming race that he's in. $45,000 is more than fair for him if somebody decides they want him, clearly more than we do. But I thought racing him in where he's going to do the most damage makes the most sense. So that's why he's there. Now, some of the 2-year-olds, you might be able to add to this list too. I had a list of 11 horses in alphabetical order that I thought deserved being talked about this week. Horses that did very good work. And I guess my gold star for the week has to be, again, we talked about it earlier, but it has to be in New York, right? I love the horses that bounce forward. I love talking about the horses that shock me, not in a bad way, in a good way. That really, I finish up the mile, I absorb it all, I take it all in, and I'm like, wow, that was a hell of a trip right there. That horse just did a great job. And that is where I was at within New York. It's hard to surprise me, truly surprise me this time of year. It's really hard to do. And that horse shocked me the other day when he trained. So he would be my gold star of the week for sure. Capistrano Knights starts my list. And you'll note I didn't talk about Blue Rare or any of those horses. They did good, but they weren't on the wow list. They weren't on the you need to speak about this horse list. Capistrano Knights most definitely was. She was great. You didn't talk enough about her. I think she was underappreciated this week. But
why? What do you want me to say?
Because I don't know what you want to say, but she looked awful good to me. I went back and watched the replay twice. She looked very professional doing her work.
She wasn't really that worried about other things. But
she's growing, she's maturing, she's understanding her work. It's really cool. It's almost like some of the horses realize how good they actually are at it and then just take off.
She was actually really nice too, because it was like I didn't even have to do anything. She sped up when you sped up in front of her. She slowed down.
So she followed a helmet properly?
No, but I didn't have to ask her to keep up.
I know.
She just did.
That's what happens when they learn to follow. So Capistrano Knights would be number 1 on my list. The first one, just alphabetical order. Second one, have to talk about Captain Doolittle. We can't not talk about him. Can't not talk about the horse. You see a horse that's improving and improving and improving and improving, you have to speak about the horse. And Captain Doolittle had been in 212, but looked very, very good doing it. I was really happy with him also. Another horse, he's second week, 2 trips, right? Yes. So now you see the difference in even that, right? Mm-hmm. First week, 2 trips, he was good, but second week, 2 trips, he was much, much better. Diosa Della Donza continues to improve. I think she was 3rd in the training set, but I still have to talk about how good she is getting and how good she looks. Her brother was 3rd in 50 his first start back the other day. They put him on the front. He raced good, but he finished 3rd and looked very, very good also. So Diosa Della Donza's a horse I've talked about. Dune just has to be on this list. She has been doing great things in Ontario, and I heard Dominic talk about her, and Johnny, and James, but I didn't experience it for myself until last week, and she is an impressive filly, Michigan or otherwise. She's an impressive looking filly. Actually, she might stay in Ontario for a little bit if she can do a Mohawk, because the fairs, the way they stretch the money out, I didn't realize this. Most of the fairs are going to go for $3,000 or $4,000, right? And then you have those elimination and finals, and then I think Justin told me there's something called the fraternities also that go for a little bit more. Ludington is one of them. I plan on being in Ludington this year. You and I both. I know you want to go there for that sandwich, that breakfast sandwich at the restaurant. I want to go there because it was just a nice town. And last year we went on the jet skis. I wonder if Addie wants to go again this year. She was terrified last year on the jet skis. We'll see if they want to go again. In New York, I talked about him. It has to be. I know it's alphabetical order. He is the gold star of the week for this week. He deserves it. Jailbird Jog, and that's hard because she was incredible. Now, if we trained in New York 2 trips, and he dropped and looked that dramatically better, how fast? I told somebody the other day.
And then put her on a big track.
And I gave somebody the other day, I said, I could easily train her with a near hood and a snake cord on. She wears a dog chain.
I know.
A dog chain and a near hood on right now. I could train her a lot faster than you think I could without her blowing a match out. She is ready to rock right now. Millie Girl. looked great too. It'd be unfair. Everybody in that pace division needs talked about. They did a great job. And Millie Girl just continues to, and I don't care, Sire Stake Stallion Series, it doesn't matter. She will, I believe, be a stake filly. She exhibits all that you need to be a competitive stake horse. There's no shortage of speed or attitude or work ethic. She's just a nice filly, and I can't wait to get racing her this summer. Perfect Thought, we have to talk about her because she's Perfect Thought. Her sister, I couldn't remember, Pink Jammies. So weird.
Oh,
such
yes, I
such
remember
a
this
sour
story.
filly,
Yes.
pulling, wheeling, going to the gate, won't
Was
go.
she
You
an
have to chase her.
Ohio bred?
Yes,
Yes.
Fear of the Dragon. You have to chase her and chase her and chase her.
That's the problem.
So sour, and then just looks like just a cranky filly. But you put her on the front, and she won the race last night. I wasn't in the. Yeah, I was in the race with something. I drove something for somebody. But man, she's pretty. She looks just like Perfect Thought, except Perfect Thought never pins her ears. And this filly rarely breaks them off her neck, I don't think. Sweet Lake, again, was second in the set. Looked very good, but hasn't had the sheer hard work that the other ones have had. Missed some time here and there. I think you're going to see her start to really polish up nicely over the next few weeks. Tomboy Strong looked good. Now, I did run you down with Jailbird Jog, and you were right. I had all the momentum, and I did run you down fair and square. But both fillies were tremendous, and Tomboy Strong. If you were going to say, okay, I need the horse in your barn that has been the most consistent since the day we broke it till right now, I'm pretty sure it was Tomboy Strong.
Yeah.
Perfect Thought and Tomboy Strong would be the two. A pacing filly and a trotting filly that had been the most consistently good from day one. And then Uncle Danny, you see the cream starting to rise to the top a little bit with Uncle Danny, how good he's looked, and he looked tremendously good again the other day. The kid just came first over and dummied everybody with him, and he looked very, very good. So is there any 2-year-olds you want to talk about? Because you went with a whole bunch of different ones than I did. So you heard my list. Those are horses that deserve to be spoke about. You must have a couple.
Oh, it's kind of hard when you put me on the spot.
Think of who you went with this week.
I'm trying to think.
We talked about Millie Girl.
Little
Talked
Girl,
about Tomboy Strong.
Capistrano.
Talked about Capistrano Nights.
Yeah,
Talked
there's
about,
like all of them.
was there any other horse that caught your eye this week that looked really good?
Well, Jailbird.
Jailbird.
But she was good the week before, too. And even Doolittle, I came first up in one the week before we had the video.
That's true.
So he
was
actually has
good.
gone 2 good trips.
He has, yep. It's nice of the kids to get the
Let me think. Can I see our list here?
Sure you can. You can see your list. I think overall, as Amy pulls up her list, overall, you're starting to see how we truly feel about how the horses have been.
I actually thought Pretty Eyes was
good.
better than, because then I saw who beat her, and they're both right at the top.
Who's that?
And that's it.
Yeah.
It was.
Capistrano Nights was one, wasn't it? Wasn't that the set you were buying?
No, I bought B with Bobby with.
Oh, right.
Where is it? Did you move these?
Yep.
Oh.
Doesn't matter. So, Pretty Eyes was good. Yeah, I'm happy.
I think it was
with her.
Uncle Danny that got her at the end.
No, somebody come first over. I don't think it was Uncle Danny, but I'm not sure. Doesn't matter.
Oh, Cherry's Girl.
Cherry's Girl has been very
Steph's
good also. Steph's Hope, quietly. I talked about her extensively in a video the other day, how impressed I was that we did that vet work on her, which I don't like doing to young horses as we start to get them ready. And yet, it just looks like she just took off.
Supermind never gets talked about.
Supermind was very, very good. Finished second or third. Was very strong again. You're right. Yep.
And
That it?
I guess Xena.
Oh my God, she should have been on my list. What the hell am I doing? Because somehow my mind stops after Uncle Danny.
I don't know why.
Well, because nobody don't have any horses over the Zed. Xena Kemp there's 12 horses on my list. Xena Kemp absolutely has to be on the list. She was unbelievably good again the other day. And the thing I love about Xena Kemp is it allows our clients to understand when you go through a stretch of like a month where your horse is not trotting good, or she had 2 weeks off because her knees and ankles, remember we blistered them? Then we were training her and she was making breaks and she looked terrible, and Jim was like, oh, can you please go Xena and just...
We did that with Jailbird too.
Yeah.
Remember her left knee was a little bit...
It was, and you just have to give them time. And for the filly to do the work she's doing right now, obviously shows you in real time. I don't have to tell you about it. It shows you the process and how we go about doing that. And Xena Kemp is perfect. right now and looks amazing. And these are the things that I want everybody to understand. When I tell you this, I know it's easy for me to say, and you're like, oh yeah, sure, Anthony. It's because I've seen it before, and we'll see it again. This is not our first Xena Kemp. It's not our first jailbird jog. These horses are not originally rare, right? Her knees were a little sore, her ankles were a little sore. You could see that she was loading weight, and it was very difficult to do her work properly. Shut her down, just jog her for 2 weeks, blister her knees, blister her ankles.
I think
Keep on them.
Quite a transition too, because I noticed when this happens, it's when we start taking the cork off, and it changes their gait.
Fast, but
yeah,
they
but
go
it
fast.
changes their gait, and it changes a little bit of everything. And I think they just have to kind of work.
It's the torque in the miles too. When we have the corks on, we're not coming big halves and big quarters with them. We're not stretching them right out. We're kind of watching them a little bit, and we're going slower because they're not ready to go fast. The corks come off. You're right. The corks come off. They really start to move forward, and we do see it. But I want to see it then. That's when I want to see it. I don't want to see these things in June. I can't fix them in June and July. Most of the season is gone when that happens. I want to see the chinks in the armor and the inferiorities and the weaknesses of the horses in March, in April. We can deal with March and April. Can't deal with June and July. It's a very, very big problem, and quite frankly, the injuries or the issues we're talking about are much more minor when they're going those slower speeds, 215, 212, 220. You know, those issues, 225, those issues, you start to see them at those speeds, you can deal with that. It's not a big deal. But when you push that forward and all of a sudden you're coming a half in 57 or 28 in a qualifier in July, those weaknesses and inferiorities can easily be bubbling and brewing in there. And if they happen to blow apart at that torque and that speed, now you're talking about true fracture lines. Slab fractures in their knees, fractured sesamoids, operations, screws, things of that nature. You don't want to get into that stuff. So that is why I'm happy when I see something wrong with Xena Kemp in March. We can fix it, we can manage it, we can address it at the time and manage it moving forward so that it doesn't come up again. But if you baby them and baby them and baby them and pretend it's not there, it's going to come back. It's going to show up, and it's going to show up at a time you really, really don't want it to. So that is, what do we got going on here now? We got delivery of some sort.
Oh.
Walmart?
Yeah. No, Walmart? No.
Oh, it says Walmart, I think.
I didn't order anything from Walmart.
Neither did I. Maybe it's a hit squad. Oh, maybe he's just turning around. No, he's pretty sure he's coming in here. Huh? He's definitely stopping here. Somebody ordered something from Walmart. It's coming to our house. Anyway, that is your videos for the week. Man, oh man, very happy with the weather today. It's just so nice.
I was going to say, do you want to eat outside?
Yes, I do. It's a beautiful day. It is, feels like summer is coming these days. Very nice, especially with everything going on and all the stuff swirling around in my head. It is nice to just wake up to a nice sunny day and relax. What do we got going on here? Something was ordered from Walmart. Anyway.
Oh, there are a couple orders from Walmart coming for Denise.
For who?
Steve.
Oh.
He literally just texted me.
Tell him, say, she literally just pulled in the driveway. Anyway, so we are a third-party delivery service to the country of Canada. For some people also. No big deal. Anyway, have a great day. I hope it's sunny wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I hope you're having the same day thus far that we are. It is a gorgeous day. Really, really nice day. And I am going to soak up every single second of it. Take care. We'll talk to you all soon. Good luck to all my partners today, tonight, especially time is on my side. We'll all be tuned in watching that.